Do you think it's a mistake for the NFL to allow Roger Goodell and the investigative arm to punish a player if he hasn't been punished by the court system?
It's an interesting question. There's a different standard in our criminal justice system, and that is beyond a reasonable doubt. So a lot of times prosecutors will not bring a case because either they don't feel that they have substantial evidence to meet that burden, or there's question about the credibility of the accuser, as we see here, and some of the witnesses. So just because they don't bring a case doesn't mean that somebody didn't commit what they're accused of. And so what the NFL is trying to do is they're trying to set a higher bar, a higher standard, and they specifically have in their policy that somebody doesn't have to be arrested, charged, or even convicted for them to find that they violated the personal conduct policy of the NFL.
How slippery is that slope, though? I mean, because when you have the league going past what the court system or the law would say, I mean, how many pitfalls is that?
It's very interesting because, like I said, they're conducting their own trial. I mean, Roger Goodell is like a mini Matlock. And this all happened because when the Ray Rice elevator video came out, and that was a huge topic, and then Ray Rice appealed and he won. And the person presiding over the appeal at the behest of Roger Goodell was a former federal judge. And she actually ripped on Roger Goodell. And she said, you knew about the elevator video. Why didn't you unearth that? Why didn't you take a look at that before punishing him for 2 games rather than indefinitely? And then she also said, you guys don't seem to be punishing domestic violence at all. I mean, the person before Ray Rice, I think the largest suspension for domestic violence was 2 games. So after that happened, well, then Roger Goodell got serious about everything because it was embarrassing publicly for him. And so he came up with a domestic violence policy. They have the 6-game suspension rule. He has this outside panel of experts that are looking over everything, and they're unearthing their own investigative materials. In this case, they even found cell phone metadata that the police didn't even get a chance to look at. So in some ways, they may be doing a more exhaustive investigation than the police department for the reasons that I said.
Do you think that Ezekiel Elliott can win this appeal?
It depends who Roger Goodell decides to preside over it. Is it going to be him? Is it going to be somebody very credible, like the former federal judge that ruled against him? Or is it going to be one of his cronies, like an NFL executive? Who is going to be deciding it? I think apparently, according to the NFL, the evidence is overwhelming against him. They had medical experts who examined these photographs that were detailing the injuries, and then they had them basically assess when the injuries took place, the aging of the injuries, the date and time of the pictures. So there's a lot of forensic analysis going on here, where they have determined that on 2 separate occasions, there were pictures to support domestic abuse. Now, she alleged that there were more than 2 occasions of domestic abuse. They found that the pictures on 2 occasions and a 3rd occasion, actually, that all supported it, according to all of their experts. So how's he going to overcome that evidence? That's the question.